Hello, hello, hello. Very good morning to everyone. Welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. It is Gameweek 12 Deadline stream. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome my co-host for sure, Azmin, to the stream. How's our feeling?
Okay. Um, Lots of disruptions, so we got a lot to get through. I think and these things have definite a lot of changes, and definitely we have to look at our squads and see which are the crucial transfers that we need to make rather than the ones we would like to have. So it may be the case this week. So let's take a look.
Right, thanks, Azmin. It was definitely you are already done your research in terms of team news for all teams. But before we go to each and every one of them, we would like to welcome Brandon Ong to the stream. Hello,
Hey,
hello,
Brandon.
good morning, Bosco and Rakan IPL for sure. All right, man. We take a look on the game week 12 fixture. This will be the last week before we gonna take the third international break of the season. Okay, for sure we want to do well. First will be kick off around 8:30 p.m. Malaysian time. It is Wolves versus, can I say, depleted Spurs set. Later, Azmin will touch on them for sure. We will have also at 11 p.m. the Arsenal versus Burnley game. So called is actually the money ball game. There is, however, some uncertainty in terms of Arsenal players. We also have Crystal Palace versus Everton. Both are kind of decent in terms of form coming into this game. And then we have Manchester United versus Luton. As we know, Manchester are desperate for points for sure, but it is against Luton Town. Maybe they can do against the promoter side. And then on midnight, Bournemouth versus Newcastle looks good on paper for Newcastle asset. So maybe this is something that people are looking at, where the Newcastle players that we can jump on. And also on Sunday, we have four fixture at 10 p.m. Malaysian time. Aston Villa versus Fulham. We have Brighton versus Sheffield United. On paper also, this could be a potential high scoring game, especially for Brighton players. Liverpool versus Brentford lost 3-2 to Toulouse in midweek. So this is a game that they want to bounce back. But it is Brentford. I think back-to-back win for them. So they want to continue to do that. And then West Ham versus Forest. Before we close up the game week 12 feature with the big one, Chelsea versus Man City. All right, man. I think let's jump straight to the team news.
All
Wolves
right.
versus Wolves. What have been the managers been saying?
Okay, so where wolves are, hang on, why can't I see this? Okay, so where wolves are concerned, it is still about Pedro Neto, no Pedro Neto, but maybe after the next international break, maybe. But he said it doesn't. It's not looking good, to be fair. And considering that Wolves managed to lose against Sheffield United, surprise move. Yeah, Neto will tells you just how important Pedro Neto is to the team. On the Spurs side, okay, so it's overwhelming when I look at the Spurs news. It's crazy. So the latest, of course, is that Madison is ruled out. Van der Ven, we know that he's already ruled out until next year. So he's got a hamstring injury. So it's really, really tough for Spurs now because at the same time, you've got two red cards in the form of Destiny Udogi as well as Romero. So you're looking at entirely different backline with only Pedro Porro surviving, my player, thank goodness. So Dear, Davies, and Emerson Royal, all who were not the first choice. So otherwise it would have been Udogi, Romero, and Van der Ven. So that's it. It's almost totally 75% of that back line has been wiped out. Okay, on the forward side, it's pretty much Madison who's out. Richarlison is out as well. So that also hurts it somewhat. So it means the squad is quite stretched. Then you got Kulusevski, but Johnson now has a chance to make his mark. With Johnson gets a chance to fix his place in the side. So that is such a pick that we might want to take a look at. It might be good. So Son, of course, continues to be there, so he's fine. So it just becomes an issue of will Spurs be able to operate at the same level that they did before all these injuries. Okay, so that's it. The predicted lineup, I guess, yeah, I think that is going to be it. Because I'm just hopefully there's enough creativity because without medicine is a huge drop in creativity for that on that Spurs side. But
For sure.
there's still quality there. So and if NG can work his magic, I can still see them getting a result against Wolves.
Yep, I think the biggest news coming out from Spurs camp in for sure is actually James Madison will be out until the new year. So for
Yep.
sure, the owners of Madison will definitely thinking what's the best replacement for Madison. He's also out from England squad, and you can see you did touch about Romero and Udogi. The replacement most likely will be Ben Davies and Emerson Royal. I think that's the most suitable replacement for them that I can believe so from Spurs squad. Hochberg coming in for Madison, not like to like, but at least a player that can we know from the past he can be considered at least in defensive side of the game. But we expect San Kulusevski and Johnson because Richardson also will miss some of the weeks because he will be undergoing some surgery. So yeah, pretty much that is really thin squad from Postecoglou, but how they play are really high line in terms of playing style. So I expect that should continue. Okay, man. Let's go to the next game, which is the Arsenal versus Burnley. We are interested to know what's Arteta been saying. He has been a bit dark so far, I believe.
Right. So Arteta being the fun guy that he is when it comes to press releases. So apparently Saka didn't train on Thursday. So in his press whether or not he can train tomorrow, he's not sure. He's being a bit airy-fairy again. We do know that Odegaard Nketiah trained apparently. Yeah.
That
But
will be a good news.
this morning I got a tweet from someone called Edmund Melissa, who apparently has a video showing some of the Arsenal players arriving, and apparently Saka is there. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's the case or not. So we'll see. He is at least with the squad, apparently part of the preparation. So we don't know. He'll start. It is a big of a problem. So it is a big question, really, and it's hard for those of us who have Saka like me. We do know that during the Champions League, it was as per the lineup, it was Trossard who was playing in front, and he did quite well. So let's see what happens there. So it's other than that, we should see Zinchenko be returned because apparently during midweek he was subbed out, but he should come back again. So he did come in as a sub. Sorry, midweek. So that should be fine. So the question now is, given that Arsenal's attack is a bit not as great as we would like it to be, so is it a money ball fixture for Arsenal? It does not look like it at this stage. Burnley, of course, still will not have Foster. Apparently, news came out saying that he has a mental illness issue, which is so bad. I'm sad for him. Hope he gets better soon. But it does mean that Burnley's attacking potential is even worse than before. So Amdouni looks likely to lead the line. I have Amdouni by sheer coincidence, although whether or not I'd want him, I'm not sure, because at the end of the day, when you look at Arsenal's backline, it's intact. They don't have any issues with the backline. It's really in terms of the front line that is being a question, whether it's Saka and Nketiah, Odegaard is out, so on. So that is the case. I would predict that Arsenal would still win this, but it may not be a overwhelming victory.
It's not like final, is it? Because of this thing. But anyway, Azmin did touch about Saka's situation. It is going to be difficult, but the facts that we know at this point, he didn't train yesterday, the last training, I suppose, and but he did travel, like Azmin mentioned, in terms of I think Melissa that tweet on this video. people arriving and see Saka is actually on the bus. Okay, so what happened is, if you are Saka owner, most likely we're gonna keep him with this news. That's, I believe, what we'll do. But if you are thinking whether to bring in Saka for the likes of medicine replacement, say, you might actually go for other players like Martinelli, who sure clear in terms of his fitness. So that's what I believe people or managers should do, right?
Yeah, so just to clarify a bit, when I say Saka is traveling, it's not that Saka, because it is at home, but because they stay nearby before the game, and they've been seen, they're all together. The squad is together, and that's why Saka is there with the rest of the squad. So just to clarify that. Okay, let's go on. I just want to mention Gabriel Jesus as well. Looks like he is out, but then during the presser he wasn't mentioned. So we don't know. So, he just said need more time to assess, which means that, is there a possibility that he could be fit? So that's another confusion as to what's the situation. So he's again, Arteta's being very vague about his team news. So
I like when you touch about Eddie Nketiah. He's actually pictured in training, so he should good to go. But in terms of lineup, we can see Trossard starting as the false nine, but it could easily Nketiah if he's fit enough from Arteta point of view. So Saka could easily replaced by Nelson if he's not fit. There's some option there, but it's not like the first 11 that Arteta want to play for sure.
Yeah. So the thing is, Arteta historically he seems to rely a lot on Saka, and he doesn't substitute him enough. Even though the team is winning 3-0, so I do worry a bit that Saka's being overused.
Okay. Another point I just want to make as a Gabriel owner like myself, yes, people mention about his being rested on Gameweek 10, but I would not be surprised if he's being rested again this game. Like Arteta just give some excuses and Kvyat start this one. So you just need to be careful. That's all I just want to mention.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the next one, which is Crystal Palace versus Everton. There's also a lot of interest in terms of Palace asset. So I can see somebody is coming back. So what's the latest news?
It's insane with Crystal Palace. So we know that defensively they're gonna be forced to be reckoned with. At least there'll be assets for Palace to choose from. Last week, Eze came off the bench and immediately was involved in the goal, delivering an assist. And now it looks like Olise is fit as well, and he's trained fully this week. So it's good news for Crystal Palace right now, and they're looking suddenly. With the return of Olise and Eze, looks suddenly they're a lot stronger than they were previously. The attacking line looks much better now, and Edouard could be a interesting pick, because with the thing is, we know that even though Eze is there, but it's Edouard who makes off with the points a lot of times, so it's definitely a dark horse option there. On the Everton side, no real things, but a little news for you, Hafiz. Your Branthwaite seems to have a knock, but I don't know if it's serious or not. But I don't think so. I think she should be okay. I think even the predicted lineup said that he should be fine because they all trained anyway. So other than that, apparently Doucouré is ill for a bit, but then again he has also trained, so he's expected to be fit. So that's it. So Everton is fine, and and of course, and something that needs to be mentioned every week is DCL is still okay. He's still all right.
All right. Azmin, they mentioned about Eze coming back. He looks like people are talking about him returning and a potential pick at least for the next four. Because that could actually be an ideal replacement for Madison. But maybe Azmin won't. He has some experience with Eze early of the season, so I'm not sure what he will say on that. But that is the talking points for this week, Eze. So the next four, Everton at home, Luton away, which is nice. West Ham away, and then Bournemouth at home. So there's the four fixture that people are talking about. So easy at 6.1, you can't go wrong with that price, right? So other than that, I just want to mention Anderson price has gone up 5.1, and Michel also has risen price from 4.5 to 4.6. So really, I don't know. I just want to see, because I'm eyeing this cheap defender, because Mark Guy already increased to 4.6. I won't be able to get any of them if I want to play replace the likes of 4.5 to 4.5 players, because they already now 4.6. The only left is Joel Watt, but can you trust the captain of Crystal Palace? I'm not too sure.
Well, he's the least. He's the least performing wise, at least FPL, where FPL points is concerned. Because Anderson, girl, you can always rely on them getting bonus points from all the block shots and as well as possibility of headed goals. And Mitchell, well, Mitchell is capable of screamers, and we saw that last week as well. So it is a less sexy pick for Ward. Yeah, definitely. If you're just going to go for someone, go for Mitchell. And so you at 0.0, you can't even afford Mitchell.
Yes, it is frustrating. It's
really sad. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. And the thing is with Crystal Palace have a decent a string of matches coming up. They play Everton, Luton, West Ham, and Bournemouth. All are, well, Everton's probably the one that's a bit more tougher than the rest, but after that it's very volatile sides that they play. So definitely we're going to consider.
Me, I just want to ask a personal question, because you had Eze earlier of the season. What do you think? Is he an option?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have to put my bias aside in terms of frustration with him, because I do feel he can be a good option again. And just have to bear in mind that after the next four, he then plays Liverpool and Manchester City. So you need to have a plan ready after he plays Bournemouth in game week 13. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Game week
Fair. Next game in Manchester versus Luton Town. Bruno Fernandes did scored 11 points last week. So maybe there's some interest into from Manchester United team. So what's the latest news?
So so Manchester United came up as the match that oh wow, definitely there's some potential here, but then when you look at that United squad, you just don't know what's going on. Another setback for them. They lost in the Champions League 4-3 in such a devastating loss against Copenhagen, and we just put on the pressure for Erik ten Hag. So in terms of the squad, so we know that Casemiro and Martinez are out, and now apparently Johnny Evans is out as well. So it looks like Maguire and Varane will be the ones, that's the centre back pairing for this week. Other than that, no real changes. We still expect to see Holland, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford there. So instead of Antonio Pipi, Garnacho. Garnacho seems to have done well. He has impressed in the minutes that he's been given. So there's a good chance that he'll start this week. So other than that, McTominay has secured a spot because, if not so much for his ball playing defensive, but just because he is a goal threat. And sad as he is, he's still tied with Bruno Fernandes for leading goals. I think they got 3 goals apiece, and and it's a damning indictment. But at the same time, Holland is doing well in the Champions League. He's scoring them in the Champions League, so he needs to transmit that form to the Premier League as well. On the Luton side, it just mentioned 6 players down. Not going to go through in detail, but Morris is there. If you'd still take Manchester United are going to concede, so but it's a dark horse pick at best. I wouldn't go there.
Okay.
So but I mean, this will be another match where Erik ten Hag's lifeline hangs in the balance, like last weekend, and up thanks to the Champions League loss. But you would expect him to survive yet another week this week.
Okay. All right. I believe Johnny Evans injury news. I don't know if you feel that Maguire is an option. It could be solidify that option. 4.2 Maguire, Varane could come in, or maybe Lindelof. I think is it. But the players that people are looking at are like the likes of Dalo, so slightly lower than 5 million. So I can see that also some of the interest in terms of managers, because I have some of my colleagues, cousin also looking at potential of Dalo. So okay, fair. That could be some good things about him there. All right, man. Let's go to the next one. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. We are really interested in terms of Newcastle news for sure from Eddie Howe. Is there any significant things that he revealed?
Well, does that mean we don't care about Bournemouth? Because it does look like Iraola is really under in the trenches here. You know, will he survive? How much longer will he survive? To be fair, he wasn't expected to get anything from City, but still losing with such a big margin is going to hurt. And now they play Newcastle, and if they lose by such a margin as well, it's gonna be hard for Iraola. So, but the good news for Bournemouth, of course, is the Newcastle side. So, Wilson is a doubt, so he needs to be assessed whether or not he's ready. Newcastle are also a bit on a downer mode at the moment, having lost to Dortmund, and their chances of qualifying to the next stage of the Champions League really hang in the balance. So, with Isaac definitely out and Botman is out, so and one key thing is that Gumares is suspended. So he's such a huge loss in the middle there as the link up play from the defense to the attack, and also in terms of his ball winning ability as well. So we know Nona Tonali has been suspended as well. So there's a lot of changes there. So we saw Lewis Hall come up. So Lewis Hall, chances are Lewis Hall will get a chance to play. But if Wilson, the good news, the big news is that if Wilson isn't ready to play, who goes up top? And it's quite likely to be Anthony Gordon. So we've seen him before. So those who have him, you're in for a treat, because that becomes an out of position option for you. And another thing is that let's talk about the defense. So you got Trippier, Lascelles, Schär, and Livramento coming in because they've run out of they run out of left backs because they were injured. So you got Trippier out and sorry, not Trippier, Target. Sorry, not Trippier. Trippier's fine. It's absolutely fine. So you got Target out. So we got Burn is out as well. So Burn and Target are out. So that's another thing. But Lascelles is a really interesting pick because he's cheap, and we know that Bournemouth concede a lot from set pieces. So it's possible that Lascelles, Schär, Trippier are all quite decent options, given Bournemouth's tendency to concede from set pieces. We could see a Trippier rock show again, where he just fires balls into the box from set pieces and they score. It's great to see, and in fact, I have a problem because I tried to figure out how to get Trippier into my lineup, and I just can't see that happening. But those of you who still have him, well done, because it looks like he could really haul this game.
Yeah, interestingly, you mentioned about those injury burn, Botman, Target, and so on. The likes of Livramento and Lewis Hall coming into fray in terms of becoming an option for definitely we want to say a good side, defensive side of Newcastle. If you cannot reach Trippier, you did mention about Lascelles, but Lascelles price already increased slightly a bit to 4.1 million now. So he really getting attention from managers. I'm also in that dilemma. So I already miss his price 4.1 if I want. But Livramento and Hall is something that we should talk about. It's 4.3 million, and if let's say the likes of Hall or Livramento can be really coming to forward lineup in terms of running, so maybe those are a better option than the sales if you have the extra money. 4.3. So I believe, I'm not sure whether we can readily see that yet, because Dortmund is the first game, and now this the next one. So maybe after 2-3 matches, after Chelsea and is it Manchester United 13 and 14? So maybe 15 is much clearer in terms of whether they can really nail that spot.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Sure they play. I mean, this week they play Bournemouth. Next week Chelsea at home, Manchester United at home. These are all winnable matchups for Newcastle, provided they have enough of the squad. Because I'm worried that they're gonna run out of a squad. Thanks for letting me know on the price changes. Just happened apparently in the last 7 minutes. So just a quick interlude. Most of the price rises are for key players: Martinelli, White, Gordon, Lascelles. Archer's gone up in price, and Bowen. So
Okay,
Archer,
yeah.
after the win against Wolves, suddenly is Sheffield coming into play, and suddenly an Archer looking a decent option. We don't know. And just a quick one on the price falls. The significant one is Burn. We know he's out, and of course Madison has dropped, and Ward-Prowse has dropped as well. So some
Really, really volatile market we are in right now. I mean, so you just need to catch the price rising. So if you can identify, rightly so, the potential price riser and also at the same time the fallers, you can, yeah, you can increase or getting
your
a
team
better
value.
team. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Aston Villa versus Fulham. We still see some frustration in terms of Aston Villa assets. But what is the latest news from both teams?
Yeah, Aston Villa getting ambushed last week. But it's pretty much the same old squad for Villa. I don't know if because of the results they might be tempted to make changes. I don't think that will happen. I think Unai Emery will stick to mostly the same squad, unless and looking to play at home against Fulham. And Fulham at home are not great, although their defensiveness has improved recently. But I don't think the Fulham will be able to pull out anything against Villa this week. They're still having a problem um, moving forward in terms of goal scoring ability. Aston Villa, of course, will have a boost because they did win midweek against Alkmaar, I think it was. Yeah, 2-1. So that was a midweek victory in Europe for them. It's a needed victory as well. So it'll be good. And during that one, Watkins scored.
Okay.
So in that 2-1 victory. So hopefully that means will that signal a return to the goals for Watkins? Good luck, those who have Watkins. I don't.
I just want to touch a bit in terms of Matty Cashman. He did
Yep.
sub on during that game, so pretty likely he's okay to coming this week, man.
Yep. So at the start of the week, it was a problem that Cash was a doubt, but now it looks like he's okay. He's fine. So not an issue, and looks like those who thought of selling him are probably going to keep him because he got other issues elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one, man. Brighton versus Sheffield United. We already know Brighton had really an excellent result against Ajax, another big team in terms of Europa League. But there's something about maybe Estupiñán coming back to the team. So what's the latest news?
Yeah, but in the press conference, De Zerbi is now saying he doesn't expect Estupiñán to be available, and together with Dunk and Milner. Yeah, so we do know that a lot of people who are out for a long while is Solly March and Welbeck, and Brighton played as well during midweek as well. So it's be interesting to see. Ferguson was not in the starting lineup. He came in. He came in as a sub. Mitoma, of course, should still continue. Adingra should continue in the absence of March. Although, interestingly enough, this lineup has Adingra playing behind Gross and Lallana instead of the other way around. So something that we do know that our RDZ can really shake things up. So it's getting really hard. So to figure it out. Sheffield United, of course, Archer will lead the line again. We knew that previously he was benched a couple of times, but after scoring last week, you expect him to start as well. So this is a hard match to call. I do know that Sheffield United are still the worst, one of the worst sides, but because of Brighton's involvement in Europe and their constant mixing and matching in terms of the lineup, even in terms of the keeper side, it makes it hard to predict how well they'll do. I thought they would win against Everton, but they didn't, for example. So it's hard to tell. Sheffield could steal something here.
Okay, fair. about Brighton assets, maybe we just touch a bit because in midweek Europa League, I think Mitoma did play 90 minutes. Same also Adigra, who actually someone who people eyeing at 5.0 million could actually be in your squad after the wildcard in game week 10. So I think you just play the game in and hopefully trust the ZB in terms of his lineup because he needs result. He has been back-to-back draw. I think 1-1 against Everton, and then last week 1-1 against against Everton, and then before that against Fulham. So I think that's where the ZB should come back focus to the league. But without Lewis Dang, without this defense, I'm not too sure Sheffield United could get something right.
Yeah, they could, because it's just too. There's no continuity in the Brighton lineup at the moment. That's the problem.
Okay, man. Let's go to the next one. It is your club, Liverpool versus Brentford. We already know in terms of lineup during the midweek. So we're concerned in terms of like me, Simikas. So maybe what's the latest news for both teams?
Right. So for Liverpool side, it's getting a bit challenging with regards to Simikas. So we do not Simikas played and he screwed up and was replaced at halftime. He was responsible for the first goal. Liverpool were unexpected. For those who don't know, Liverpool were unexpectedly defeated during midweek in the Europa League, the match they were expected to win, but they didn't. So it does raise a question for those of us who have Simikas. Will he continue to start? So for me, the question to answer is: did Gomez do well enough last week when he started? And I'm not sure he did. So I'm not that great. And there's also a problem because against Brentford, he's expected to face up against Mbuemo.
Yeah, could Gomez be a better defender, man, over Simikas? Can I say that?
Yeah, but Gomez isn't that fast, so I don't know. It's a challenge, and the reason and because I have Mbuemo and I'm fielding him because I do think that he will be able to Brentford will be able to score against Liverpool. So there is talk about TAA going into the middle instead, with McAllister suspended. So that would clear the way for Gomez to play at right back and Simikas to play at left back. So that's another thing. So it is a problem. For the record, before last week, I would never have expected Gomez to suddenly get a start at left back. I thought it was impossible given historically he had never done that before this season. While Klopp has sprung one on me again, and he actually did field Gomez at left back. So now it becomes a question. So the other good news is because Virgil van Dijk, who was not available for the midweek Europa League, he is back, so he's fine. So obviously he was also another big loss in not being around midweek, and probably helped Liverpool to lose as a result. So other than that, Nunes will continue to lead the line. Diogo Jota, I don't see Diaz starting this one. I think Diogo Jota will still lead the line. I want to tip Szoboszlai as someone who's going to score this week, but I just don't have space for him. On the Brentford side, no changes really. So it's just, Mbuemo, Wissa, Jensen, and Flecken players who you have in your lineup will be expected to start. I'm not sure you should feel Flecken, but you definitely should feel Brentford assets. Brentford, the attack. If you have Mbuemo, Wissa, play them.
Okay. I feel this is interesting match, man. Because on paper, maybe Liverpool has the upper hand, but it's Brentford side who has form, right? So we shall see whether Mbombo can continue to take another attacking return against Liverpool. Let's go next one, man. West Ham versus Forest. A lot of also attention in terms of we know Forest win against Villa last week, so they are on good form. But West Ham also lost to Brentford, so they want to bounce back, man. So what the latest news?
Yeah, West Ham unfortunately was unexpectedly lost midweek at home to Olympiacos. So it's quite it was, I think they were quite stunned. Sorry, no. They did. Sorry, they won. They won against Olympiacos. Sorry. They won 1-0 and the Kudos started. Yeah, Kudos and Bowen, two of the key assets that you would expect to look at. Both of them started. So the good thing, of course, they were at home. So does this mean Kudos has finally secured his place in the West Ham starting lineup? I think he has. I think he's done well enough in the past few matches. So other than that, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez as the midfield pivot, they should be fine. But we know that it's not good enough for Areola. West Ham are still one of the worst teams defensively, so they have to balance that up by getting enough goals to win. Forest, we know that they're not so great away, similar to last season, but they are getting better, but they're still not great away. So the good news is that for those who are looking at, Chris Wood seems to be back. That's the main thing. Origi is back as well, but with Awoni, who has been the ever-present before he got injured, you would expect him to be the one continuing to lead the lineup, with Wood and Origi having to just be content with a place on the bench. The biggest news, of course, FPL-wise, is that Turner is no longer first choice in the keeper role. So the guy, the Greek fellow who I just can't pronounce his name, he'll be starting. So he might be an interesting option if you think, and at least for the home matches.
He's 4.5. That's all.
Yeah, so not as cheap. But he is an option.
Okay, as you mentioned, I think West Ham will be boosted with the return of Paqueta and Alvarez, because I think they suspended.
Yes.
And replacing the likes of Ben Rama and also Suchet. Suchet looks like damage in terms of his potential minutes, because Kudus has come into free, so it is affecting the player. But we expect maybe West Ham can win against Forest, but it is going to be a tight one for sure.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be tight one. I think there'll be plenty of goals. I think Bowen, you've got Bowen that's great, and I don't have a West Ham asset at the moment. So yeah,
okay. Right, you're more positive in terms of that over me. Last Chelsea versus Man City. Chelsea won that 4-1, so they are on high moral for sure. But Man City is definitely eyeing for 3 points for this game. So what's the latest news?
So we got two teams who are definitely on a high. Manchester City having dismantling Bournemouth 6-1 and also winning in the Champions League. And at the same time, you have Chelsea, who fashioned a very controversial win against Spurs, with all the injuries and the red cards and so on. And hat-trick hero Jackson should be expected to lead the line. It's one of the worst hat tricks I've ever seen. Sorry, because in view of all the issues that happen. But of course, when you score, why shouldn't you continue when you score a hat trick?
But if you mention that, Jason will say, "I will take it."
Yeah, of course, you'll take it. I'll take it. So it'll be an interesting match, and of course, and one of the big news which I be following is whether Reece James is there, and looks like he is. So Reece James. So in this Manchester City lineup, so we do know John Stones is injured. Maybe not as bad, but he will be ready. Akanji, she'll be with the team as well. The interesting about the prediction of that lineup is that Doku isn't there.
Yeah, I'm about to ask you, what do you think, man? Yeah. Doku not there.
So there's a running argument that Doku Grealish is better for Haaland and Doku isn't. But if the halftime results from last week is any indication, he's Doku. Yeah, but at the end of the day, Doku has, for me, he's got such great awareness in terms of the play. I watched the highlights. I'm just very impressed. Now, obviously, it was Bournemouth, so we're not going to see such a high impact score. But Doku is fit. I don't see any reason let me just check some last thing.
Yeah. So you
I,
predict that Doku gonna start that this Sunday game against Chelsea over Grealish, right?
yeah, because
Okay. But the theory
it's
is
not.
because Grealish is more a control-ish player, and Pep wants to control this game against Chelsea because they're definitely going to play the pass game. So maybe that's the theory. But if you feel Doku,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just don't see why you would need to play the control game against Chelsea because I do think City's squad is far superior, and Doku didn't start midweek either. So,
yep,
what is he gonna continue? Is he gonna keep a reserve again? And Grealish started last in midweek in a game against Young Boys at home. They were expected to, it's
win.
not a big fight. It's Young Boys who always, though they make it Champions League, they're not the best team in the world. So it is. I think it's concerning for those who already transferred Doku early. So we'll see. We'll see what happened there. I'm still considering him as well.
All right, good stuff. I think the players that we expected, like the light Haaland, Palmer, Foden to an extent, even Doku, is because he is one of the most transferred in. Later we touch. We do like you mentioned, we do expect Doku to start, but it won't be surprised like if they see release that. So those are up to Pep decision for sure. Okay, I mean, let's go to the top transfer for Game Week 12. Who are on top? All this for sepanjang this Game Week 12, it is Doku. But suddenly Bowen is taking over Doku as the first spot into the top transfer in for this game week. Maybe because after that Madison latest news, people changing it to Bowen. 517,000 managers believe he is the best player to come in for this week. Other than that, you did mention about Doku. That is no surprise because Doku got that 22 points. I'm not sure whether that is something major in terms of his performance last week. But he is the second one. This week, 472,000 managers has brought in the Belgian midfielder in. Then Michel, after that 15 points, so I won't be surprised. People are getting him in. He already rise in price, like I mentioned, 4.6. Gordon, I think there is some potential points there with the Callum Wilson, and I said uncertainty. Gordon starts up front as a false nine. Yep, I believe he could be an option. He is in this top transfer in. And also Nikitia. Maybe after seeing that he's confirmed in terms of his training session, Nikitia is in this top 5 transfer in for Game Week 12. For transfer out this week, I think there is no surprise. Madison is the top one. 1.2 million managers has parted from the England midfielder because Portugal already mentioned he will be out until next year. And then we have Burn, also going to be like 2 months layoff. I suppose Romero suspended for the next 3 games. So that is where people move in the Argentina defender, 453,000. Odegaard, uncertainty again, not pictured in the training. So he's also there. And Udogi, who was also suspended for this game. 2 Spurs player, there's 3 actually, with Madison, Romero, and Udogi dominating top transfer out for this week. What do you think, man, in terms of this transfer traffic for Game Week 12?
Matt, I mean the easy flow from Bowen to Doku is because of Madison, because otherwise we were struggling to find a midfield slot to place him, but it's just nicely because Madison, the amount of people ownership, because obviously his ownership is high, so 1 million plus is still not equal to Bowen plus Doku. So it shows that Bowen plus Doku plus Gordon will make up to it just about more or less there. So it just goes to show everyone needs to look for midfield replacement, and these are the top 3 options. Yeah, no arguments there. It's just Bowen and Gordon are pretty much secure, so it's just a question of whether or not Doku is secure. No real surprises this week in terms of the transfers out. We Burn, Udogi, Romero are all out, or the guards out as well. So pretty much everyone there is the injured players. So Nketiah, we know he blanked last week. So this week, he wasn't expected to score, to be fair. So we'll see. I like Bowen as an option. It's just that I don't seem to have space for him.
Okay, those are the top transfer game week 12. If you've been thinking this player, so this is what people are doing. So you should not be wrong in that sense. Okay, Bowen is the most transfer in. I think he could be the likeliest option for Madison return. But there is option like as we mentioned. Doku, if you trust his minute. Gordon, really nice, and you can make that saving right from his 8 million. Gordon 5.7, 5.8. So okay, man. Just before we go to our team, the scout picks for game week 12 from Fantasy Football Scout. In terms of this week, players, Johnston in goal against Everton at home. No surprise there. Trippier, yep, he could deliver another 18 points if that happens. Really massive game for his owner. We have Zinchenko over Gabriel over Saliba. So Zinchenko make this cut because I think maybe manage trust in terms of his minute and his maybe other potential attacker returns. Cash make up this lineup also make the cut against Fulham at home. As we know, Fulham are better at home and stronger at home. Mitoma and Ferguson is the representative from Brighton for Sheffield United game. So Mitoma in midfield and Ferguson up front. Salah against Brentford. Martinelli over Saka, maybe because his doubtfulness. So Martinelli made the cut for Arsenal rep in midfield. Gordon, yes, I think I agree with that. Post 9 against Bournemouth, leaky Bournemouth. So maybe Gordon could get attacker returns for sure in this game. Watkins up front against Fulham, potential, and Haaland against Chelsea. So regardless about Chelsea 4-1 win last week, Chelsea is still a team that is building, and Man City are better side over Chelsea. So what do you think, man, in terms of scout picks for game week 12?
Yeah, so Martinelli is there really because of the doubts surrounding Saka. So that's the biggest call there. Ferguson there is also interesting as well, although given that he didn't start the match midweek, you expect him to start that one. So, and
I think so.
yeah, and Brighton against Fulham, you always expect Brighton to score. Brighton versus Sheffield United. Yeah, so definitely goals will be there, just who will score them. Other than that, yeah, pretty much the same. I'm fascinated that Zinchenko is there as the Arsenal defense option. But yeah, it is against Burnley. So I guess Zinchenko looking more secure than say Gabriel, who gets benched. So just coming back to that, we do know that against Sheffield United, Arteta deliberately benched some players, not because they were injured, but to give them a rest. So will he do the same against Burnley, who are, technically speaking, a relegation zone team as well? It is possible, so don't be surprised.
Okay, those are the scout pick. I think is this enough? All picks based on whoever team that they're facing. So let's go to our team pick, man. We start with yours first.
Okay.
We have 1 million in the bank and 1 free transfer.
All right, so we do know that Cash is fine. Tsimikas is a doubt as to whether he'll start. So actually, I no longer have Tsimikas in my starting lineup. He's on the bench. And Pedro Porro has moved up to front because even though despite he's the survivor of the defensive lineup, but I do feel that in the absence of James Maddison, Pedro Porro is going to take more of the set pieces. So it's definitely something that, I think we'll want to exploit. Okay, so that's one. So now you have Saka, Salah, Douglas Luiz, Gordon, and Mbeumo. So it is really about whether or not Saka is still going to be there. Darwin and Haaland, fine. At the moment, my captaincy is on Salah, so we'll see whether or not that changes. So if I'm not happy with Saka, I am looking to change him. And who do I change it to is a big question. Doku is definitely on my radar at the moment. No doubt, the one thing that's slowing me down for the picking him up immediately is because of the matchups. You know, City's fixture ticker is not the greatest, but they do have the quality. That's the thing. Uh, the other transfer I'm looking at making is a keeper transfer and to bring in Johnston. So that's the question is, do I just want to have a non-playing keeper as my substitute, meaning that I sell Pickford for Johnston, or do I still want two playing keepers and sell Turner for Johnston instead? Any thoughts on that, Hafiz? What do you think?
If you're going to pick Johnston, most likely you're going to play him over Pickford anytime, right? I'm not sure whether you actually see some fixture that you're going to play Pickford over Johnston. I'm not sure about Crystal Palace fixture. The next one is decent enough for Johnston to play, but after that they play like is it Liverpool?
Game week 15 they play Liverpool, I think. Oh, wait, hang on, see. Oh no, game week 16.
Game week 16.
Yeah, 16 they play Liverpool. Like if Everton play Chelsea.
And 17 against Man City. So
And
I'm not sure.
Everton play Burnley. Wow, this looks so yeah, maybe I'll keep Pickford and sell Turner.
Okay, all right. So if you want that counter, you can do that. If not, you trust Crystal Palace defense and just play Johnston all the way. If you ask me, but the difference is because you have wildcard in your hand. So at any time you feel that you screwed up your team, you can actually wildcard. So I feel you can do that over replacing Turner. But if you ask me, I'll do that Pickford Johnston move only to save some money and put somewhere else.
Okay, thanks.
All right, it should be fine. Okay, let's go to my team. I have no money in the bank, 2 free transfer. Interesting what kind of transfer I'm going to make this week. I have Arola in goal. I have Cash, Gabriel, and Simikas all play at home. All right. Palmer, Bowen, Saka, and Salah. And then Haaland and Watkins up front. I have Salah as my captain this week. I have defense Bradwood, Taylor, and Osula. Even I cannot defend Osula to come in. I don't want Taylor to come in also. Bradwood should be fine. I think in terms of the front 7, we should be fine. I don't think I'm going to move Palmer or Bowen as back away to other players. Saka is a tricky situation, I mean. Now you mentioned that we picture Saka is part of the team. So most likely I'm going to keep him and hopefully he plays or starts. So what else that I can do to my transfer? I believe we mentioned about just do like a Taylor move to Baldo to save some money, or Bradford to Lascelles, but Lascelles already rise in price. But I just want to mention, because in terms of Gabriel and Simika's situation, Gabriel, as much as we think that he secured, at any time he can be rested. So, and I would not be surprised if this is the game. Simikas, on the other hand, also going to be a problem, right, man? You did mention, we did discuss offline that Simikas' performance against Toulouse could be alarming. And as much as we think he's going to start against Brentford, I will be surprised if Gomez start that game, right, man? So it is a rotation risk, I feel. And then next week, again Man City, I don't think I'm going to play Simikas. So there is an opportunity to take out Simikas if I believe he is in this situation. But I cannot go to any Crystal Palace asset because already asset increased to 4.6. Unless I want to go to Joel Watt. Maybe he can be an option at Crystal Palace defense. Other option than that is, we did mention about Newcastle, Lascelles or Livramento, if I believe they can start. Is a bit cheaper to Simikas at 4.5 right now if I'm sell him back. And Newcastle could be the one. Or maybe if I trust Manchester United defense, Maguire 4.2, he looks nil now. Against Luton, he could get some points there. So that could be the transfer I'm going to make. What do you think, mate?
It's a tough one for your team, really. You have zero. You have no money in the bank at all.
And I'm not gonna touch Bowen or Saka to get the money. Yeah? So I have only 4.5 million money to spend. Yeah, I think Simika is the weak link in my team right now. I mean,
well, but you don't have money
because I'm worried this week. There is potential Gabriel did not play, and Simika's also not start. But if it says Simika's do not start, he could come in for a 1-pointer, right? So I don't like that situation also.
Then have we considered just playing Brathwaite?
Can, but say Gabriel also bench, then Taylor come in. So I don't want that.
Burnley.
So I think as much people says that you should keep Simikas, but I don't have say both of them are interested.
You don't have a backup because there's a worry, and the problem with Gabriel and Simikas is if they don't start and is benched, there is always a chance that they will come in, and you end up with a 1-pointer compared to Brentford.
Which is not ideal. I think if let's say
because Brentford will start, so that's the problem. We know that Brentford and Taylor will start, so they could potentially get 1 point more, which of course that's not the point.
Just want to mention, if let's say we want to advise about Simika's situation right now, definitely it's not a buy-in this week, right? For sure, we won't suggest that because of this situation.
If you don't have him, now's not the time to bring him in. If you remember last week, I was already plotting a strategy to midweek when we were talking about it. I was already thinking, is there a way I can transition from Simikas to Szoboszlai? So I don't know lah. You're out of options.
Yep, for sure. So I will think about it. I think the most likeliest that I'm going to go is Lascelles. If not, I'll go Maguire, but I'm not sure about Jawa. I think those are the three options that I'm thinking because I feel I need a nail-on defender.
I think you should go Lascelles lah. I think Lascelles is your best option.
Okay.
We remember earlier we mentioned about Bournemouth conceding from set pieces. Then Lascelles is tall. Lascelles is a tall fella. Well, most of all the Newcastle defense is tall except Trippier lah. so yeah, Shah's tall, Burns tall, Lascelles is tall, so yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll find some tweet to convince me which place that I'm going to go, because I think Maguire 4.2 is decent, but can I trust Manchester United team?
No.
Next week international break is Everton playing Manchester United, and if I have Maguire, I think I'm going to play Brentford over Manchester United. So that's my thinking. So okay, I think I might not go there, but I will not close my door yet for Maguire. Okay. Then let's go to some of the questions. There's a lot of questions here, so it's good. Okay. Uncertainty looming for Saka, keep or sell. For me, looks there is some slide that he might actually play. He is in the squad, so I feel it's a keep.
I can't answer this one. Sorry, I'm still struggling. I can't figure it out, because if I want Doku in, I need to sell someone, and if I do, it'll most likely be Saka.
All right. Next question, San to Saka. I won't do that because Saka is uncertainty. But if you want to go any Arsenal asset, it's definitely Martinelli. But I won't change San, right? He's decent fixture against
So the worry is with Spurs' creativity, and is Son still going to be a good asset given the amount of injuries that they have? They may end up spending more time defending, but I'd rather wait first and see what NG does, because I think Sun can still a worthwhile pick. The matchup is still possible because it is against Wolves, who are quite a porous side.
Brandon did mention if you are uncertain about getting in Saka, Martinelli can be an option. I believe so. But Rakyat FPL wants to
Martinelli captain. Wow.
If wants to go extra miles for captaining Martinelli, I'm not sure whether over Salah, even Haaland and S10.
Yeah, so if I didn't have Arsenal and I was trying to get in an Arsenal player this week, Martinelli would jump straight up into my options, but at the moment, and Saka, I don't see myself doing a what's that term called?
Sideways.
Saka to Martinelli. I'm just don't like that.
Mitchell or Guile, both are 4.6 now. So in terms of price, they are just the same. I don't know if you believe that 15 pointer can come.
Yeah. No preferences here. Either one is fine.
Okay, I think either one is fine. Which more safe? Lecces or Livramento? I think Lecces in terms of minutes more secure now in terms of situation, Botman and Burn. Livramento is still wait and see, but I believe he will feature in that Newcastle team. It's just whether you want to jump in straight.
Yeah. All right. Agreed. Lecces more safer.
Ferguson against Sheffield United or Nketiah for 1 week punt. It is going to be difficult, right?
And let me just do a quick check on something. Sheffield, Brighton, Burnley, Nketiah. Assuming if you're confident Nketiah will start, then go Nketiah.
Okay, I think I like that also. Brandon asked about Bowen, Eze, and Mbomo. Pick one and why. I think Azmin has Mbomo. I have Bowen. Man, what do you think?
This is a tough one. Crystal Palace stats attacking have been poor leading up to this, one of the poorer matches, but of course because they hadn't had Eze. Now as a back, definitely it goes up a bit, but I would still go for Bowen.
I'll make my case for Bowen because I have him. Mbomo because not Mbomo because the next two fixture, Liverpool and is it Arsenal? I forgot. That's two tough fixture coming up. So I will only get Mbomo in game week 14, not for this week. Eze, my case is maybe he's still slowly coming into the team. So maybe he will not start instantly, maybe. There is opportunity, there is possibility, right? So Bowen, we already know more nail on is focal of West Ham team at home this week against Forest. So that is my case. Okay.
Bowen, yeah.
Option for captaincy, Anila for Norwegian Terminator. I guess Haaland, right?
Oh yeah, is that what we're calling him now? Yes.
But over Salah, what do you think?
Pardon?
But over Salah.
The thing is, at the end of the day, between Chelsea and Brentford are the better team. So it's I just don't like the look of Chelsea. Although to be fair, Manchester City's XG and Liverpool's XG has been far better than in the past 5 matches. They've been just much better. But in the last 2 games, City seem to have stepped up a gear. So those stats might increase against Bournemouth, young boys. Obviously, these are not hard matchups. Yeah, but it's definitely something to look at whether or not, to go for Haaland. He won't be the popular pick option this week, but I think there is merit for picking him.
Okay. My advice to Brandon, if you feel that Haaland going to perform better than Salah this week, just do it, bro. Because sometimes you just need to follow your guys. And I believe Haaland will still be the most captain for this week, especially there's a lot of ghost team there. I mean, so we believe that will happen. Haaland continue going to be the highest captain every week. Okay, all right. Let's go to the next one. Rakyat APS says he want to do Hoki Koki Sun to Bruno this week and then Sun back in game week 13, I suppose. If I don't want to burn my transfer. The thing is, I like Hoki Koki, but Sun to Bruno, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, because Son can definitely still score against Wolves. I think that's a given, and perhaps bringing in Bruno. Now, the matchup is great because Luton's defense is horrible. They have the worst XGC coming into this match. The past 5 matches, Luton have 14.3 in terms of XGC, which is the worst of everything. But Manchester United's attack is horrible as well. Their XG is only 5.91, which is about the same as Burnley's. It's not far off from Burnley's. So that is where you need to figure out if Manchester United are going to find a way to get the attacking lineup because Luton are bad. So I wouldn't. It's just too dangerous for me.
I wouldn't suggest also that thing. Who to play? Lascelles away to Bournemouth or Dalot at home against Luton? Really feel nice about Dalot at home, because he has attacking potential over Lascelles.
Yeah, and we saw he did score. He has scored. He has scored goals. Tough one, but I'll probably still go Lascelles of long-term wise.
All right, fair. Just for this week, I'll favor Dalot. Okay, man did mention here, I transferred Burn for Saliba. See, Burn to Saliba is like a high price. Saliba is 5.3 right now. And Madison for Martinelli. So he saved that Madison money to Martinelli. As I have 2 free transfer. Double Arsenal at the back. Arola, Michel, Cash, Saliba, Gabriel, Gordon, Martinelli, Bowen, Salah, Khalid and Watkins. Bench San. I just don't like bench San,
Yeah, everything looked good. Everything looked good until I saw that second last sentence of bench Son.
I think I will bench one of the defender. I think I will do that. I can easily bench Gabriel.
Yeah, bench one of the defenders. I'd bench Cash.
But Cash has potential at home against Fulham. I'm not too sure.
But Arsenal has potential against Burnley, so why bench the defenders? I mean, I think
I think the thing is you need to play Son. That's it, and you just pick whoever that you want to bench.
Yeah, play Son.
All right, Brandon on mentioned Mason confirm price drop. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Martinelli Bowen night hunger. All right, good. Last but not least, Shoaib C did mention I'm captaining Mitoma this week. I am pretty sure Brighton gonna overroll Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's definitely it can really pay off if it works. But to be fair, Sheffield United's defense has improved slightly compared to the likes of Burnley and Luton. Previously they were three game weeks ago they were the worst, but they've definitely improved. In comparison to Burnley and Luton, so who are so far much worse. So then that's a question that if Brighton can really screw over Sheffield, then yeah, go for it. All the best.
All the best. Just do it if you believe Mitoma is potentially be the best captaincy for this week. Then before we go off, quickly one on FPL Jedi League. If you haven't joined our league, the league code is ZA9F60. At the top is still Abang H. I believe last week is him. And he scored 25 points only, but he still have 1 point edge over second place RX Mat Alip. As you can see here, his team main double up Crystal Palace defense. Really nice. Leno in goal 3 points, Cash nothing, Anderson and Gyle 5 points each, Simikas only 1 point, Sun 2 points. Diaby 2 points. Madison, I think he will tackle Madison this week. 1 point. Salah 2. Watkins and Haaland. And on his bench, he still have Neto injured. He could easily get 9 pointer from Archer, but Simikas did come in, so tough for him.
Yeah,
10
I mean,
point.
Crystal Palace obviously, the Anderson will help fuel his score, because otherwise, there was not much elsewhere. I just wanted to point out there's two scores of 40 plus in that top 10. The first is, what's his name? 1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go.
So he has Mitchell in his squad, which is great,
Wow.
and together with Bowen and Gordon, who are the scorers for him. So that's super well. But at this, for number 9, Jelabo FC has Anderson. He has Trippier.
Wow.
But his top scoring player, he has Mbeumo as well, but his top scoring player was Bernardo Silva, 14 points. So it's quite interesting to see. So, I mean, it just shows that this season, there's plenty of ways to go about. So, yeah, all the best. It's possible.
Yep, you can diversify your team for sure. All these top players in our league has proven show. Give a shout out also to other like Abang C, third place, Blackong FC, Sunyi Sepi. Also, at one point, he top in our league. Kama Rancid at 6th place. Lai Chikang also at one point, he's also on top of our league. Pensioner 24. You did mention about Julubur FC. And Asha Namamu Teratas is 9th place. Where I am, my place is somewhere there at 654. It's still far a stretch, 30 points away. So they need to do some catch up in this league. All right, good stuff. Last but not least, the deadline will be at what time in today? It will be 7 o'clock Malaysian time. And thank you for all joining this stream. Do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel. And click the bell so you can receive the early notification whenever we are live. Your last word, Min, before we wrap up.
May the force be with you. Don't wait till too late. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Good stuff to everyone. Good luck to everyone. Sometimes you just need to follow your guts, right?
Yeah, follow your gut.